everybody, welcome back to Brit in Germany! Yay! This week we're looking at cartoon characters. In German there are a few cartoon characters that have different names. Some are completely different and some are direct translations. And along the way we're going to be learning a bit of German as well. So it sounds like fun, yes! But we're going to start with the quiz question. Da-da-da! There's a character in the Muppets who's a chef, a cook, and he is called the Swedish Chef. That's really hard to say. I know he's not a cartoon character, but it's so interesting I had to include it as the quiz question. I'm gonna put a picture of him here. But in the German translation, he's not from Sweden, he's from somewhere else. Where is the Swedish chef from in the German translation? A. Denmark, B. Iceland, or C. Italy? We will find out later in the video. So stay tuned. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing a Snoopy top. Snoopy! Unfortunately, I can't feature Snoopy or the Peanuts gang in the video because they have the same names in German. Now we're going to start looking at these cartoon characters and find out what they're called in German. We're going to start off with Snow White and her 7 dwarf friends. Her German name is Schneewittchen. And her dwarf friends are called die 7 Zwerge. 6 of them have different names in German, but one is the same. Who's the odd dwarf? Well, the first dwarf is Doc. That's his English name. Doc is the leader of the gang, so it's only right that his German name is Chef, because chef in German means boss. Doc is like the boss of the group. And it's funny for English speakers to hear that he's called chef, because in English a chef is a cook. It's a false friend, chef. It doesn't mean a cook, it means boss. The next dwarf is Dopey, and in German he's called Seppel. I couldn't find a reason why Dopey is called Seppel, but I did find out that Seppel is a traditional figure from the Kasperle Theater. Kasperle is like Mr. Punch from Punch and Judy. The Seppel puppet was created in 1921, which was at least 10 years before the Disney film came out. It could have been inspired by the Puppet Theater. The next dwarf is Sneezy, and his German name is great because he's called Hachi. And this word is the onomatopoeia word for when someone sneezes. Hachi! Yeah, thanks, Strawberry. The next dwarf is Grumpy. He's called Brummbär. Brummbär is another word for a grouch. And there's a phrase, ein alter Brummbär sein. That means to be an old grouch. Nothing to do with a bear though. Not a grumpy bear. Sleepy is Schlafmütze. A Schlafmütze is a nightcap or bed cap. It's also a nickname for someone who's a sleepyhead. So someone who gets up late is called a Schlafmütze. The next dwarf is Bashful, and he's called Pimple in German. Again, I couldn't find a reason why he's called Pimple. So if you have an idea, let me know in the comments. Yeah, that leaves one dwarf, Happy, and his German name is Happy. What a coincidence! They decided to keep Happy. Those were the 7 dwarfs from the 1937 Walt Disney film. And sticking with Disney, the next one is Lady and the Tramp. These 2 dogs that fall in love. With the famous spaghetti scene where they eat that spaghetti thing and end up kissing. She is called Susie and he is called Strolch. Strolch means a vagabond or a scallywag. So someone who doesn't stay in one place and who is a bit of a rascal. The Flintstones, everyone remembers the Flintstones, and they have a different name in German. They are called Die Familie Feuerstein. Feuerstein is a Flintstone, so it is a direct translation. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, da 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 da. Barney and Betty Rubble, the neighbours of the Flintstones, they are called Familie Gerolheimer. Gerol is lots of stones on top of each other. Moving swiftly on, the next one is Sideshow Bob, evil guy from The Simpsons with the crazy hairdo. In German, he's called Tingle Tangle Bob, so it is completely different apart from the Bob bit. A Tingle Tangle is like a musical show where there's dancing, but it's perceived to be quite cheap. A Tingle Tangle is also a public place where entertainment takes place. Porky Pig. Does anyone remember Porky Pig? In German, he's called Schweinchen Dick. That's insulting! Porky Pig isn't that fat, is he? Dick in German means fat, and Schweinchen means little pig. So fat little pig. Porky can mean fat or belonging to pork. So it's like a double meaning there. Porky is also slang for a lie, but Porky Pig's a good pig, he doesn't tell lies. Tintin and Snowy! Did you know that in German he's called a completely different name? He's called Tim. and the dog is called Struppig. What's going on? Tintin became Tim. My guess why the dog is called Struppig is because Struppig comes from struppig, and this means hair is all sort of messed up, it's not smooth, which could represent the fur of Struppig. Our next friendly character on the show today is Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, do you remember him? From the 100 Acre Wood? He was a childhood favourite of mine. In the original book, he was called Pooh der Bär, and when Walt Disney brought out the films and the merchandise in the 70s, I think, his name changed to Winnie Pooh. Winnie Pooh has 2 U's, and the old Pooh der Bär has just 1 U. That's interesting. Winnie the Pooh has 2 friends that I will talk about today. The first one is Piglet, my favourite piggy. Oh, he's so sweet. Piglet in German is called Ferkel, and Ferkel is Piglet, a baby pig, so it's a direct translation of Piglet. And my favourite, Eeyore, the donkey. His German name is ER. They've done the same thing. In English, Eeyore is the sound that donkeys make, and ER is the noise in German that donkeys make. I love the spelling of ER as well, which you can see here. Okay, the next one is SpongeBob SquarePants. In German, he has changed a little bit because his name is SpongeBob Schwammkopf. That means sponge head. They could have called him SpongeBob Quadrathose, but that doesn't sound so cool, I think. I noticed that a lot of cartoon ducks have different names in German, so we're gonna look at the ducks now. We're gonna start with my favourite 3 young ducks. Can you guess who they are? 3 little ducks? They're called Huey, Dewey and Louie. It was really interesting to see what these guys were called in different languages. The German ones are Tick, Trick und Track. So cute, isn't it? Tick, trick and track, I think that's just some random made up words. It does roll off the tongue quite well, no? Tick, trick and track. Oh. Fun fact, the female versions of Huey, Dewey and Louie in English are called April, May and June. In German they don't have the months as their names. Instead, they are called Dicky, Dacky and Ducky. The next ducky is Scrooge McDuck, also known as the richest duck in the world, the Christmas guy that turns good from bad. In German, he is called Dagobert Duck. If you have an idea why it's called Dagobert, then let me know in the comments. What I find with the German translation is that there's no hint that he's Scottish, whereas Scrooge McDuck, the muck, that gives a hint that he's Scottish, but Dagobert Duck doesn't really tell you much about his Scottishness. The enemies of Scrooge McDuck are the Beagle Boys, the masks. In German they are called Panzerknacker, and that translates to tank busters. So they're obviously very good at breaking into things because not many people can break into tanks. So watch out, Scrooge McDuck. The next character is Gyro Gearloose, who is a goose, that rhymes, who is the inventor friend of Scrooge McDuck, and in German he's called Daniel Dusentrieb. Dusen is a verb which means to dash or to move fast, and der Trieb is a noun that means urge or instinct. So I'm looking up Daniel Dusentrieb right now, and I'm not actually sure if he's a duck, goose or a chicken, because different sources are saying that he's all of these things. So let's say he's a goose. I'm afraid we've almost come to the end of the cartoon characters, and the last one is, well, it's a pair, Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale have 2 German translations. The first one is Eichhörnchen und Eichhörnchen. In the 90s, they got their names changed to Chip and Chap. I think that they were called Eichhörnchen and Eichhörnchen because it sounds a bit like Eichhörnchen, and Eichhörnchen is a squirrel. Chipmunks come from the same family as squirrels, and Germans like order, so they have A and B. So if they had a friend, it would be called Seehörnchen. Good! That was my German and English translations of cartoon characters. I hope you learned something. I certainly did. I just want to go back to the quiz question. The Swedish chef, where is he from in the German version? The answer is A! Denmark! In German he's called der Dänische Koch, the Danish cook. And we don't know why he comes from Denmark. Not quite sure. I mean, Sweden and Denmark are both Scandinavian countries, so why change it? Strawberry, do you know? don't either. Actually, it's quite hard to say der schwedische Koch because it's hard to say the Swedish chef. So maybe they changed it just because it's easier to say. Der dänische Koch. I really hope you enjoyed the video. There's so many good cartoon characters out there. Let me know who your favourite cartoon character is. I think mine would probably have to be Hello Kitty or Snoopy. It's a close one between those two, I think. Join me again next week for another wacky video. I wish you all a good week, and thank you very much for your kind comments on last week's video. It was lovely to read all of your feedback and your positive words for my German speaking. Take care, and until next week. Bye!
That's all, folks.
Oh, and he is called the Swedish, the Swedish, I can't say that, Schneewittchen. That means a little snow flower, I think. No, female dog, lady, and Hachi! Gesundheit. Barney Rubble and his wife, I can't remember her name. In German, he's called Dagobert Scrooge. No, Knacker. Knacker. And in German, he is called Daniel Da. Dusentief. Winnie the Pooh, all stuffed with fluff. Winnie the Pooh. Simpsons. Meet the Simpsons. Oh no, wait, that's wrong. I knew that, I was just joking. Yabba dabba doo!